Hello, my fellow mountain lovers. My name is Sunglass Rob, and today we're going to talk about the best ski goggles for the 23-24 season. I'm excited. All right, before we get into why each one of these goggles specifically deserves to be on this table, we're just going to go over some of the features they all have in common, because these are all premium goggles, and they all have some things that you really should expect from goggles that are high-end and premium and beautiful and amazing, and ones that we would even tell you we love. They all have triple layer foam. Basically, that means on the inside here, there's 3 different layers of foam. The last layer is really comfortable, absorbs sweat, and is antimicrobial. It took me so long to learn how to say that word. So you're gonna get a really comfortable goggle. The foam is gonna feel premium, it's gonna be good, it's gonna last long, and it's gonna help wick sweat. The next thing that's really important, especially to me being a glasses guy, is contrast enhancing lens technologies. So all of these have their own version of a really amazing lens. They're all injected lenses, so they're kind of all made with optics in mind, the wraparound in mind, a lot less distortion, but that contrast enhancing technology, which has been out for a long time now, like the prisms and the chroma pops of the world, really boost everything and just make things way easier to see. It almost relaxes your eyes, and all these high-end goggles now have some version of a contrast enhancing lens. Some I like a little bit better, some not as much. We'll get into that, but these all have really good lenses, and with that, of course, they're UV protective. The other thing that to me isn't, of course, is they're all helmet compatible. These days, most people are wearing helmets, and almost all of these goggles work great inside or outside of a helmet. I'm kind of a rad dad, so I still wear my strap on the outside, but if you're wearing it on the inside, they all work really well both ways. And then they all have a silicone bead lining inside the strap, and that's basically to help the goggle strap not slip on the smoother kind of helmet design. So that's pretty important these days too, if you are wearing a helmet, which I hope you are, because I want to see you alive and happy. Speaking of happy, I want you to see well. So here at SportRx, we've designed and developed these prescription inserts, which actually work significantly better than trying to jam your glasses inside your goggles. For a lot of people, they actually work way better than contacts, because contacts can get dry at high speed and at altitude, so hence snowboarding or skiing. And a lot of people just give up seeing well on the mountain, and by the time you're spending all the money and all the energy and all the time getting out there, not seeing well kind of breaks my heart. So hopefully, if you need prescription inserts, you check out sportrx.com. All right, let's start getting into why each goggle deserves to be here. All right, first on the table is maybe the funnest, loudest, raddest pair. This is the 100% Norg. If you don't know 100%, you're probably not into motocross, because they own the motocross goggle game out there. They're really big in that. And when they first started coming out with snow goggles, and when I first heard about it, I was super excited. But then when I saw these, I was like, oh man, I need a pair of these. These are actually my goggles. These are my personal goggles. I love how loud they are. I love how fun they are. I love the statement they make, the loudness of the chrome. All the colorways are actually just super rad. If you're looking for a goggle that's a little bit like, hey, look at me, I'm wearing cool goggles, and I'm kind of a loud, gaudy person if you haven't noticed, you might just absolutely love these. But besides just the aesthetics, these are actually really, really well-made goggles. They have a really good magnetic interchangeable system. The hyper lens technology is really good. You get 2 of them. They're built really well. They're durable. They're comfortable. This is one of my favorite goggles really I've ever seen or owned. I love this thing. I think you should probably just get a pair. Well, if you know me and if you know SportRx, you know that we're huge Anon fans. The M4 has been traditionally in this best up roundup for years, since it came out really, and now they came out with the M5, so it must be better. It is really good, it's a great goggle. One thing I do love is that it comes in sizes. It comes in the regular size, it comes in the smaller size, and they also have low bridge fit options. The story with the M5 to me is, there's a few actually things to talk about. One is the interchangeability. It has these amazing magnets. They've really improved and strengthened the magnets. Like, listen to this. It just clicks in there. It's in there so well. Also has this MFI option, which is, oh, I should take these off. Did I mention you can get inserts if you need prescriptions, so you don't have to wear your glasses inside your goggles? It's a thing. Anyways, check this out. You get this magnetic face covering. It's seamless. It helps with fogging. It's just kind of a rad thing. The other thing I love about Anon goggles, really all of them, is how well built they are. There's just no compromise in quality in any part of the goggle. They last forever. They're just like tough. So the Anon M5. All right, next up is a personal favorite of mine. I probably said that before, but I really mean it again. It's like kids, I love them all. This is the Oakley Line Miner, and I think the thing I love about them is also the thing a lot of people don't like about them, and it's the same thing, and it's the lens interchangeability. So these are the only ones that don't come with a bonus lens, that don't have a super fast, well thought out interchangeable system. You can get the lenses out and put in a new one, but it's not something you want to do like on the slopes or on the chair or with gloves on. It's a little bit of an ordeal, but you might not need to interchange them because the prism lens technology, especially this Sage Gold lens, is so versatile, works so well in so many conditions that like most of the time this one lens will get you by and you save some money. And there's just some people that aren't into interchanging lenses and carrying an extra one or thinking about it. And some people just don't ski or snowboard in bad weather. They're just more fair weather skiers or snowboarders. But if you're just looking for like one goggle to kind of do it all, I just love this Line Miner. Actually, the first time I went snowboarding after like a 10-year break, I put a Line Miner on, and it was just, I couldn't believe I had taken so long from boarding. I just fell back in love with the sport, and like moment of like, oh my God, snowboarding is back in my life. I was wearing this goggle, so ever since then I've had a little bit more personal connection with this goggle. But besides that, some of the other things I love about them is they're really tough, they're really simple. I love this color in particular because this is the SportRx exclusive color that we did with Oakley. This is our collaboration goggle, and this kind of gray and black and retro logo is super sweet. Another thing to think about is if you're looking for like the most peripheral, these goggles just like, you get so much view, such a clean view with these goggles. So that's the Line Miner. All right, so the next one on here is the Giro Article II. Giro is actually one of the biggest goggle companies in the States. And a lot of times people think of Giro as like lower end goggles, but they actually make some really nice high quality goggles. And this is one of them. This is the Article II. It's brand new for the season. I personally haven't ridden in it yet, but there are some things on here that I think are worth mentioning. The main thing for me is the EVAC vent tech. Basically, the way that they did the foam up top is that it's almost like not foam, and it kind of is foam, and it's like textured and hard and soft at the same time. You just got to get a pair to really see it. But what it really is cool is when it's powdery or if you take a spill, this area doesn't get as wet as fast. It helps with unwanted condensation. It's more durable because a lot of times like the first thing that goes on your goggles is that foam. It's kind of thin, it could tear. So this kind of EVAC system here is actually super rad. Another thing with Giro is that their lens technology was designed by Zeiss. So Zeiss is a huge optical company. You probably heard of that name before. Their lenses are very serious, high contrast. It's just a nice, clean, basic goggle. I like this Article II. I'm gonna have to try and take it out this season. All right, next is actually our best-selling goggle from Smith, and Smith is the best-selling goggle brand, so numbers don't lie. This is the Smith 4D Mag. The whole real story with this thing is the bird's eye view kind of concept. You see this like infinity kind of pool thing? Doesn't it look really interesting and cool? The idea is that you get more visibility looking down the mountain. I will say aesthetically, I love it. Functionally, I love the concept of more because a lot of times like you can't like almost zip up your own stuff like the goggles in the way. But that area is a little bit distorted because of how much curvature it has. But at least it's there and you could see through that little bit of distortion. So it's kind of a really cool concept. I think over the next few years, it'll get better. This one, of course, does come with 2 sets of lenses. It has the magnetic interchangeable lens system. ChromaPop is some of the best lens really out there. They're wonderful. Smith kind of has owned that high-tech lens world for a while, so I love this lens technology. The other thing that's interesting with this goggle that's different than the rest on the table is the buckle in the back. So instead of having just like the strap you have to pull over, you can kind of put them on and off a little bit easier. For some people that are wearing the goggle inside of their helmet, sometimes that buckle could be a little bit of a source of pressure, so maybe something to think about there. To me, this is about an average adult large fit. You know, I think this goggle is one of those one size fits most. Oh, but it comes in a smaller size and you can get an insert for it so you can see better. All right, the last one on the table is the Zeal Cloudfall. Another one of those like one size fits most adult, kind of almost larger goggles. I'll throw it on for you guys. The thing I think that's the most important thing with the Zeal goggles is the lens technology. They have a few options that a lot of companies don't do much of, which is a photochromatic lens, which gets lighter and darker depending on the conditions out there. They also do a polarized photochromatic lens, or they just do polarized lenses, and they don't use a full polarization because that sometimes could be problematic on the mountain. So they really dial it in. If you didn't know, Zeal's actually a part of the Maui Jim family, and if you don't know, Maui Jim pretty much makes the best sunglass lenses on earth. The thing I don't love about this goggle is the interchangeability. You can change them. They do have their own system. It is very secure. It does use magnets, but you kind of really have to learn how to do it. But I think because of that photochromatic, you don't really need to change them nearly as much. So I can't say enough about that like polarized photochromatic lens tech. If you're gonna get these goggles, I'd probably pick that lens in particular. I think this goggle really does deserve to be on the table, mainly because of the lens quality. All right, I already said that a few of these goggles are my favorite, but this is another. Can you have more than one favorite? Talk to my kids. This is the Spy Marauder Elite, and I just feel like everything on this goggle has been done right. So they have that kind of better foam up top, which is gonna be better on powdery days, or if it gets wet, it's also more durable. The aesthetics of this like cylindrical style lens is really, really, really cool. The goggle itself to me is just clean and simple and rad. I love the way it looks. I think it's also very, very, very comfortable. For me, it just kind of feels good on my face. And then they did something here which is really unique and cool. A lot of people use magnet interchangeability, but some people think it's not secure enough. To me it is, especially these days. A lot of the companies have figured out how to use stronger magnets and more magnets, but some people just want that security to know that it's not gonna come undone when it's not supposed to come undone. So they have this deadbolt technology where you unlock them and then the magnet comes off that way and then it guides itself right back in and then you lock it. It's almost faster than the ones that only use magnets, because sometimes those magnets are so strong, like you gotta like rip them off almost. So to me, like with gloves on the chairlift, this is a super quick and secure way to interchange lenses. Maybe if there was one takeaway that I don't love about these goggles is I don't feel like they have the best peripheral vision. It's good, it's really good, but it might not be the best peripheral vision. So to me, Happy is one of the most underrated lens techs out there. I think Spy spent a lot of time and money and energy trying to tell everyone how the blue light, better blue light, more blue light, different kinds of blue light. And that's awesome and rad and probably true, but what people forget is the contrast ability of the Happy lens tech. It really gives you an amazing boost. It has really good clarity. I can't say enough good things about Happy lenses, and I think people sometimes don't give Spy the technical credit that the Happy lens deserves. So that's also something to take away. So for me, it's a tough choice. If I had to take one goggle on a trip right now, I would probably take this goggle. That Norg, I love, it's rad, it's like alive. The Line Miner I've ridden a lot in. I think my next goggle, my next trip is gonna be this Marauder Elite on a personal note. Well, thank you so much for listening to me talk about my favorite goggles. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel. We'd love for you to follow us on all the social medias. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments section. We wanna help.